I just apologise to Laura. This is not going to be short. I'm sorry.
Do we have a translator?
We'll get to that. There comes a time in every person's life when they meet their one true love, their soulmate, their destiny. The person who will know and understand them for the rest of their life. That moment came for Richard 20 years ago when he met me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Daniel Farrell. I'm Australian. And I know that half the time, Casey has no idea what I'm saying. I have promised her I will do my best to speak slowly and clearly, and also use analogies that hopefully most of you in the room will understand. And no, I won't refer to the term that you use when you have a drink in both hands. It is a great honour and a privilege to be Richard's best man on this most memorable and fantastic occasion. I'd like to say how lovely everyone has turned out tonight. You look wonderful. Of course, none more than our lovely bridesmaids, who look fantastic in their exquisite dresses. My dress is pretty sweet too. Thanks also to their invaluable contribution to today's events and getting Casey here today. Goodness knows, it would have been quite understandable if she decided not to come. Speaking of beautiful, our bride looks simply stunning. I think we'll all agree on that. It's very easy to see how Richard has become so enchanted. If I may say, Casey, your beauty makes Richard look more handsome than he actually is. Frankly, Richard has given us all hope as he brings new meaning to the term batting above your average. It's like Australian cricketing great Glenn McGrath hitting a triple century. Now I know none of you know who he is. So I did some research and hopefully this goes down okay. So it's like former Phillies pitcher and Hall of Famer Robin Roberts, hopefully, hitting 4 home runs in one game. It just doesn't happen. Of course I jest, as Richard looks dazzling today in his skirt. Thank God he's had a haircut since the Fabio-inspired wedding invitations. Richard is a bit of a brother to me. I've spent many years playing rugby with him at Knox One and the House of Pain. It's Cliff Oval in Australia. Due to our not so slender body shapes, Richard and I also spent hours sitting around laughing at the track runners as we threw shot put. We've lived together at college and in a studio-sized apartment with a tin roof that was the host of many great parties, the best of which ended with one of my uni lecturers passed out on the couch, not to emerge till the next afternoon. We also had some great nights at our apartment in North Sydney where I first met Casey. She lived with us for 6 months. Now I don't want to go into details, but I just hope that the song Bulletproof by LaRue comes on later tonight. You're all in for a show. We've seen the best and the worst of each other and have always come out the other side. Looking back on our childhood and our years as young boys, Richard displayed 10 important character traits which I believe have moulded him into the man he is today. Honesty. You always know where you stand with Richard, and that is very refreshing in today's world. Generosity. He has a generous nature. Funnily enough, Casey and Michelle show this generosity as well, as me and the three other boys just discovered spending a week in their New York apartment. Ladies, we apologise again about the smell. It was him. Patience. Those of you that know me, to get along with me, you need a lot of patience. Resilience. Due to Richard's short legs, he usually has to take 2 steps to a normal person's 1. This means he takes the expression to walk a mile in his shoes to new lengths. As walking a mile in Richard's shoes is like walking 2 in any other person's. Now that demands resilience. Kindness. Richard is kind and fair. Qualities that I know will make him a terrific father one day. Courage. Despite his physical challenges, mentioned under resilience, he's still willing to give things a try. Discipline. Richard sets himself a goal and he sticks to it until it is achieved. Reliability. Richard is always there for his family and friends. Endurance. Richard manages to be a natural sportsman despite the fact that he has 1 foot high legs. Trustworthiness. He always keeps his word, although over the last few days, despite being a very average golfer, I don't think anyone has actually seen Richard lose a ball or play to his handicap. Joking aside, Richard's been a great friend to me, and while it would be impossible to summarise the last 20 years, I'd like to say that over this time, he has become the best anyone could hope for in a mate. I trust him implicitly, and I know I can go for him advice and support in dark hours, or just to chat over a quiet beer. When he told me he was getting married, I was obviously delighted, and I wish you both the happiness in the world. I was lucky enough to get married 6 months ago to the love of my life. I know how special this day is to you too. Richard and Casey are also particularly lucky to have an insight into what a great marriage is. With Diane and Tim, sorry. Diane and Tim celebrating 28 years together this year. It's fantastic. And also Kathy and Mark celebrating 33 years of marriage this year as well. While still being early into my marriage, I think I've picked up a few pieces of advice that Richard can learn from. You should never go to bed on an argument. Always stay up and argue. The woman should always get the final word in an argument. Anything said after will be the next argument. The best way to remember your anniversary is to forget it once. Yeah. Whenever you're right, say nothing. It's not worth it. Buy flowers only occasionally, as it looks suspicious otherwise. If asked the old classic, do I look fat? Do not hesitate. Do not say where. And under no circumstances say, stand back so I can get it all in. And finally, consider the words of Oscar Wilde. Women are meant to be loved, not to be understood. You'll be happy to know that we're nearing the end of the speech. So before I toast, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate the happy couple. Yes. Correct. Anyone who has been lucky enough to spend time in their company know what a great pair they are. Casey, you fast-tracked Richard's progression into manhood, and he now possesses a profound sense of purpose and happiness, the likes of which we've never seen. From the moment from the moment I first saw Richard and Casey together, I, like everyone else, just knew. Casey, you're a beautiful and vibrant young woman. And Richard, you're a loyal and hard-working man. Have the most wonderful and amazing lives together and enjoy and appreciate every second that you have together. Now it gives me great pleasure to ask you all to stand and raise your glasses to the newly wedded couple. May you live as long as you like and love as long as you live. To Richard and Casey.